What is up, you guys? Welcome back for a brand new video. I know this is like super random, whatever, it doesn't matter. So whoever wants to hear me out, hear me out. This video is gonna be about Tarzan. That's right, man. When you're older, you recognize the philosophies behind these movies and you recognize the messages even more. So this movie was released about 1999, the same year I was actually born. I remember, ever since I watched it when I was little, I always felt so inspired for some reason. Tarzan, he's a kid, right? Obviously, he's left behind by his parents who crashed on the island. Why? Because, there was a storm, and so the ship capsized and crashed into an island. Eventually, the tiger, the tiger or the jaguar, he goes into the treehouse and he kills the parents. On the other side, there's a mother chimpanzee or monkey or gorilla, and she loses her own son by the same jaguar. She's sad and everything, and then she goes to this treehouse one day and she discovers Tarzan. He gets adopted by this strange family, Take this as you will, metaphorically. He gets adopted by this chimpanzee family and he's accepted by the mother, not necessarily the father. So he develops a new identity. This kid is becoming to be accustomed to the behaviors, to the identity of the chimpanzees, and he's beginning to leave behind his sense of who he is, which is a human. As a kid, troublemaker. The only people that really like him is his mother, his friend Turk, and his other friend Tantor. And everyone else in the clan, looks down upon Tarzan because he's different. He looks different. They're not able to see who he is inside, and so they judge him for that and they cast him aside. Think about this in terms of society, guys. A lot of people are cast aside in society only because they look different, whether it be the color of their skin, whether it be because of their accent or because of the way they talk. A lot of people are cast away into society and they're made to feel less. However, Tarzan did not accept, to be cast away. He kept pushing back for his role in the clan. He kept training, developing himself, and he did not let his emotions overcome him. He began to surpass them, and the head of the clan, the silverback gorilla, became very jealous of this. In life, there will be moments where you're at the very bottom of the chain. You start working yourself, start developing yourself, and the same people that look down upon you are now behind you. They're looking ahead of you because you're in front of them. They're only looking at your back. This is gonna uncover a bit of jealousy, a bit of resentment towards you. However, you gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep going, and you cannot let these emotions drag you back, or else you're gonna stay in a rut forever. So Tarzan matures as a man, and he takes care of his mother. He takes care of his friends. He values them. He even values the clan. He has every right to turn his back against the clan because they rejected him his whole life. When the jaguar comes back to attack the clan, Tarzan is the one that steps up for them and he kills the jaguar. The head of the leader couldn't do it because he got injured. Tarzan is the one that kills him and steps up, and that's when the head of the clan, he becomes to feel insecure, this dude is really becoming much stronger than I ever thought. But he's still not a gorilla, so I cannot accept him. Technically, he's supposed to be the father, but he is not willing to accept Tarzan as a son. And Tarzan is just trying to seek this approval of this head, this chief. However, he's not able to. Tarzan becomes this man. He saved the village, yet the trust is not there completely, man. And that's the thing. Sometimes you'll do a lot of things for people, but they're still gonna look down upon you. Sometimes they're not gonna put their trust in you. It doesn't matter, man. You gotta keep doing you, keep being yourself, keep rising above the expectations and the emotions, and focus on the true mission and on your own destiny. So Tarzan meets a woman eventually. For the first time ever, he sees this girl. He's never seen a girl like this before. He's never even seen another human. But to see a beautiful woman, he's kind of shocked. Eventually, he has to rescue the girl because she's being chased by some chimpanzee baboons or something. And so he rescues her, and then they kind of become closer. He gets to know her, she gets to know him, and that leaves a mark on him. When a man meets a girl, his perspective, his eyes are kind of open to another dimension. Before, the man is only stuck on being a man, eating, going out, working on himself, going to the gym, taking care of his own self. But when he falls in love, when he meets this woman that opens his eyes, his priorities begin to shift. He begins to think more about the girl. Sometimes he even loses track of himself. Tarzan, that's what happened to him. He started paying less attention to the clan, and he started devoting more time to this woman. And so he would go to their camp every single day, and everyone in the clan was nervous about this because he was going to the human territory, and gorillas, they knew that the humans had the potential to be killers. He goes to the research facility, and he's talking with this girl, and this girl is opening him up to new things, to the intellectual side of the world. She's teaching him about philosophy and about the maps of the world, about how Europe is, and about civilization, and about how he himself can be civilized too. Eventually the girl starts to want to change Tarzan into who she wants him to be. Tarzan is obviously a savage kind of guy, protective, but at the same time, a risk taker and stuff like that. But this girl, she wants him to be civilized, and in order for her to like him, and that's where things kind of start getting bumpy. A man should never try to fix himself. Should never try to change his character in order to appeal to a woman. Because eventually the true character is gonna come out. You should always stay true to yourself. Always focus on your destiny. Always in charge of your responsibilities, and eventually the time will come when someone will join you, or you will join them, and together you can work towards the common destiny. We should never try to alter it for someone else. So this woman tries to civilize him, change her standards, while he's kind of ditching his friends at the clan, Tantor and Turk, the elephant and the gorilla. He's paying less attention to his mother and the clan. And the clan is actually, reacting to this, and they're developing less and less trust to Tarzan. He has started to develop some when he killed the jaguar, but then it goes back down when he's devoting less time to them. It's kind of like, he's ditching them for the girl. Eventually, it turns out that the people that the woman was with are actually hunters, and they're not researchers. Only her and her dad were the researchers, and the crew escorting them were the hunters, and they were just using them to get closer to the gorillas and attack them. And because Tarzan led the girl to the clan so that she could get to know the family, the hunters were able to figure out where the whole nest was. And that's when chaos started to become terrible. So when the girl convinced Tarzan to go back to the civilization, to Europe, he agreed. He went back to the treehouse, and he's able to uncover who he is. His gorilla mom takes him to the treehouse and shows him old pictures of where he came from, and that's where he's able to realize that he's not a monkey, he's not an ape, but he's an actual human. It takes a lot. Sometimes we have to look back at our lives, have to reflect on it, and understand that we are not who we are all the time, man. Sometimes we have to look back at the previous chapters in our life and realize that there's so much more to our lives, so much more to uncover, and we have to unravel these chapters and understand who we are. And so Tarzan did this. He made up his mind to go back to Europe and to leave behind his clan, his family, his adoptive mother. He was so blinded, by this woman, by this love, that he felt that he was willing to leave everything behind. Eventually, realizes that the hunters are after his family. That's when he realizes, because they capture them on the boat, and they arrest them, and they put them in the bottom of the ship, and the hunters go back to the island to go for his clan, for the gorillas. What's crazy is that Tarzan's friends remained loyal, even though he was so blinded and he started ditching them and leaving behind. So his friends actually went out to the boat in the middle of the sea and rescued him. They freed him, so that Tarzan was able to be liberated and go back and help his clan, his family, against the hunters. Tarzan goes back, and he's able to come to the conclusion that he made a mistake. It takes a man to understand and to face and to admit that you made a mistake. Men are prideful, women are prideful, we are all prideful, and we don't like to be wrong. However, in times like these, you have to accept your mistakes, and you have to understand that you were in the wrong in order to grow. And so this man goes back, he realizes that he made a mistake, he faces that embarrassment, and he goes back for his family. And Tarzan also faces his father, the gorilla, the adopted father, despite their lack of common interests. But he does this because there's a bigger mission than that. The mission is to protect the clan. And so sometimes the pain and the struggle is what unites people. It's not moments of peace. It's not you playing, golf. It's not you swimming at the lake that unites people. It's you and someone else going through moments of conflict and tribulation that makes the bonds that much stronger. So pain and conflict unite people. Times of peace, they only serve to create happy, emotional emotions. Very weak bonds. During times of war, during times of conflict, you rely on each other like a brotherhood, like a sister and a true brother, and you fight for one another no matter what. And so that's how Tarzan and his father were finally able to come together. That took pain and struggle. But eventually, the clan leader is killed. So just as Tarzan and his adoptive father were getting closer together, the father gets killed. And so it's just Tarzan. But at that time, when the clan leader is killed, he tried to put up a fight, but he acknowledged that he was not able to carry the whole clan against a much more powerful force. And so that's when he leaves the position of the clan in Tarzan's power. He's at that moment of final breath, at that moment, in the last second, I guess you could say, is when his father realizes that he was wrong all this time and that he should have trusted Tarzan. Even though he looked different, even though this dude did not look like a gorilla, he had the heart of the clan. His heart belonged to the clan. And at that moment, the father was able to die in peace, and these two were able to bond, although it may have been only for a few seconds. But the father finally recognized that Tarzan had always been one of them. So in the end, Tarzan once again is faced with a choice of going back to Europe with Jane, the girl, the beautiful woman that he met. However, this time he has a much bigger calling and purpose, which is to protect the clan. So he is willing to let her go. My man ain't no simp. He's a savage. So this unwavering determination makes Jane question her own purpose and her own destiny. Ultimately, she returns to him, and along with her, her dad comes along. Dang, that's pretty savage. So at the end, Tarzan did not change who he was. He was not gonna leave his friends, his family behind for one girl. Instead, he was gonna stick with him, and because his determination was so strong and his will was so powerful, that attracted her back. Is this gonna happen in real life? It very well could. You have to be focused on your own will, your own destiny, and not change it up, not change your goals or your personality because of someone else. Be who you are and stay grounded and concrete and confident in that, and you're gonna attract the other person. This story to me is crazy. It's a journey from a boy to a man, becoming a nobody to becoming the leader. You know, from becoming rejected and being on the outside of society to being accepted and to being at the top of it. Tarzan shows us how no matter what, we have to keep going with our destiny. There's going to be a lot of distractions, but there will always be those people like the mother, like the two friends that he had, that will always stay by him. You don't need a lot of people around you to make it in life. You just need a few people to believe in you, and most importantly, you need to believe in yourself. In times when you feel like most giving up, remember that there's people that depend on you, people that need you, and so that's when you have to get back up and keep fighting. That being said, this is the philosophy of Tarzan. If you guys want to see more philosophies, let me know, and I will be sure to make more movies. Take care, guys. Peace out. I'm out.